It's that show, Dom.
It's that show, Adam.
It's the show that never stops.
Show that never stops, bro.
We're back in. It's two Detroit nerds here on this beautiful November evening. Man, it's getting late in the year.
It's crazy, bro.
It's getting late in the year. It's crazy because when we started this, it was still warm outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did it maybe a year ago, like on our own, doing our own thing. But seeing how we're still going in this format, and it's getting cold outside now. That's
y'all gotta see our fucking dedication, bro.
Yeah.
If y'all was here, you guys wouldn't be out here.
It's
in this
cold as shit
with us.
right now.
Let's be real.
We're in fucking Michigan. This ain't California.
You see our coats?
Do you know how
hoodies?
Do you know how fucking easy it is to make a podcast in LA?
Bro,
Like, it's fucking
day of the
sunny
year.
as shit outside. Every day's perfect, man. There's gonna be days it's gonna be snowed in, and we're gonna still be in here.
We'll still be in this bitch.
There's gonna be
out this content for y'all.
So we just got to give props where it's due.
Yeah.
But I want to start right off on the jump by saying thank you to everybody who's been watching our stuff on Instagram. Its Instagram is at 2 Detroit Nerds. That's the number 2 Detroit Nerds. We've been getting some good feedback on some of our videos that we've been posting, and we even got somebody, shouts out to this person who asked us to review his short film. And I got to say, like, first of all, thanks so much, for reaching out to us.
It means a lot.
And also, too, man, it ain't easy at all, even a little bit, making a film.
No.
It just isn't. And it's one of those things, you got to respect it. You got to respect the effort.
Yeah.
You got to respect, a first attempt at anything that requires so many moving parts to work perfectly. Like, people don't realize how quickly a film can go bad and how quickly the production of a film can go bad. Mm-hmm. And, having been on that end of it myself, of working on big movie sets, as an assistant, but then also doing my own short film, I understand that it's a huge collaborative effort. Even something that's a 5-minute short, it is a huge collaborative effort, and it's always a miracle. It's not because it's not because you're good. That's not why your movie's good.
It's to get everything to work.
It's because a miracle happened.
Yeah.
That's why your movie. So I want to just say, Trace 937. That would be his name.
TRACE.
Yeah, TRACE 937 at Instagram. Follow this guy. Check out his film. It's called Good Dog, Bad Dog. We went ahead and watched it, and I got some notes for you, man, because you asked me to review it, and I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you because, I believe every filmmaker, number one, the lifeblood of a good filmmaker is honest feedback. The minute you can see any of these good filmmakers or big filmmakers, the minute people started bullshitting them was the exact same minute their movies got bad.
Of course.
The minute people said to Quentin Tarantino, you can make a movie where it's 4 hours of somebody sitting around talking and no advancing of action, no actual big set pieces like you used to do, they started to get not as good. I'm not saying all new Tarantinos.
Do I know the movie you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, we can even just look at what's that fucking bullshit? Hateful Eight. Hateful Eight was a good movie, but it's a
lot of talking in that.
It's not a movie that somebody like Tarantino
doesn't scream Tarantino when you watch.
No, and it's technically a stage play.
Yeah.
It's technically a one set kind of character driven story, and I thought it started out for the first hour as a great story. Yes. I was super interested in what was going to happen, but you can feel, that he wasn't being pushed anymore. So he could kind of just keep writing on the page and keep having his characters, blah, 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 and have nothing really happen. And we talked about, the issue of Scorsese doing a similar thing with his newest film, Killers of the Flower Moon, where you've got a 3.5-hour movie where there isn't one memorable scene. And I think the reason for stuff like that is because people are bullshitting.
Yeah. The passion is lost. I mean, regardless, everybody that's involved in entertainment or media, they get to this point at some time or another if they have a long career, right? So it's like, while nobody can necessarily blame them, you can kind of see, at least as the consumer of whatever media or entertainment it is, you see where the passion is lost. And it's kind of like, as a dedicated hardcore fan, it might disappoint you a little bit, honestly, because you want what you want as opposed to what everybody else would want from it. You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you said that part, which is you want what you want.
Yeah.
This indulgence that you see these older school filmmakers engage in to me, I think is disrespectful to the viewer. The people that actually made you famous. Now you're not making movies for them anymore. You're making movies for yourself.
Yeah.
So you can sit in your private viewing office with like your 20-year-old girlfriend and talk about how great you are. That's
see how much money is being brought into that account. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, like that's essentially what I think was going on with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know a single person that movie could have been for, except for major Hollywood producers that grew up during the time when that movie was coming out. That is the only target audience I could think of for that film. I'm not saying that it's a terrible film. I'm not saying that there weren't good moments, but it was not a film made for people that should want to go and see movies.
I mean, for the most part, it's a movie about a movie.
And we can have okay versions of that. There are plenty of movies that are about Hollywood that aren't indulgent. They're bringing you into a world and making you a part of it, rather than a movie like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where I'm still the viewer in the movie. Like I'm still in the audience. No, it's indulgent, and I think that's the signature of filmmakers who are not they don't have honesty around them. So getting back to Trace 937, Trace Walker, I believe is his real name.
Trace.
I want to just I don't want to bullshit you, man. Three things. Number one, right off the back, if you have a actor who doesn't speak English as their first language, there has to be subtitles. You cannot leave it up to the viewer to decipher what that actor is saying. It takes me out of the movie, and it immediately stops me from caring about what's going on. Now I'm just watching the images move. So then that brings me to my second point. If I'm just going to watch the images move and the actual words that are being said are not important, that's okay. It doesn't necessarily need to be that. It can be a mood piece, especially as a short film. Fine. But then we need to make sure that the images are going to be stable and shot well and as lit as accurately as possible. I know this is not easy, man. I'm not saying that like this is something that you can just do. I understand how incredibly hard it is to light a scene correctly, make sure your audio is like pristine and perfect. These are extremely hard feats to cover, which brings me to my third point. You're already doing so much. If you can just make a scene look good and look well lit and have character action or dialogue that is understandable and impactful. If you're already doing two of those things, you're pretty much there. You've pretty much made a film. It could be about a guy picking up his dog from dog daycare. If it's shot well and if it's actually understandable and coherent, you've got me 90% of it. So then the third thing I would say is that never bite off more than you can chew. Don't try to tell a story, light a scene, and make the actor understandable all at the same time. You're going to fail in at least two of those three things, especially if you don't have a real budget. It's just not going to work. You need to pick certain things that you're going to stay good at throughout the entire function of the film, and you need to make sure that those things are 100%. So if for you is just making sure that the character action and the dialogue works, then okay, fine. Make sure that's good, and keep the the set design or whatever minimal, and I'll forgive that. As long as there's one of those three pieces that is working correctly, I believe a short film does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But if we don't have those things, and if we don't take them seriously enough to decide, okay, I got to cut that scene out, because as much as I want to see him walking down the street, the bounce is too much. The shit is out of focus. I can't keep it. That's the sacrifice of filmmaking. You have to sometimes kill your babies because you can't bring them out into the world in the state that they're in.
No.
And that's the part of it that is the hard part. It's relatively easy to throw together an idea and get a crew and get people to shoot for you. It's hard to look at it on an editing bay and say, I can't use 30% of this. That's hard. But if you really want
too, because that's like, you're putting a lot of work into something, feeling like everything you're doing needs to be a part of this movie. That all makes sense. Like I understand to an extent the sacrifice that may take, because it would not be easy to go, let's say, shoot 10 scenes of a movie and maybe walk out that day, that week, however long that takes, with maybe 3 of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of time put into that. It's a lot of effort put into that as well. So I have an understanding, me not being as into film as you are, how difficult that can be, but also how critical that is towards the product of your movie coming out.
Because and this is my other thing, man. I'm talking to Trace when I'm saying, man, when it's 16 minutes, and I can identify immediately what parts should get cut out, I know that you can too. Because I know you're smart, Trace. I know you're not a dumbass. I know you're not untalented. So I know that you know what scenes I'm talking about that didn't need to be in there. Nigga driving didn't need to be that long.
Getting his promo for his music out there.
It didn't need to be there.
Didn't need it.
So you got to be honest with yourself when it comes to editing. It's not about you anymore when you're editing it. It's about what is the viewer going to get out of this. Mm-hmm. And as much as you don't want to kill those babies because you work so hard to bring them out into the world, you got to sometimes decide, hey, this is for the viewer's sake. I'm going to cut this fucking part out, make my 16-minute movie 9 minutes, and I'm just going to have to live with that because I only got 9 minutes. You didn't get it if it's not working. It doesn't matter if you actually have the image or the video. You didn't get the scene if it didn't work. So you might as well have not shot it.
Yep.
That's just how it goes.
Not to put the time into it.
Yeah, and it sucks to say, but you wanted me to review it. I actually think if this is your first film, if you didn't go to art school or anything like that, and this is just on your own budget, bro, great job, man. Yeah. Like you made a film, great job. Like, but if you're trying to do this as a way to advance a career in filmmaking, or start to create bigger budget movies, and you want to use this as sort of like a calling card or a business card for other talent that you might have, if maybe someone gives you a bigger budget, you've got to do stuff that's not indulgent. It's got to be for the viewer. It's got to be perfect or as perfect as you can get it, with the idea of the originality still being intact. That's the dance you have to dance, is how do I still keep this as original as possible, but still make it as technically perfect as I can. And if you just follow that rule, man, the next film you make is going to be great, man, because you're trying things out that were frankly interesting. I can tell a lot of your influences are probably more on the absurdist bend, which is a great type of influence to have that's going to keep you creative. But you've got to execute it in a way where you're making that end product as digestible to a viewer as possible. That's what I got to say for Trace. But thank you again, man, for asking us to review it. Yeah, thanks for asking. I hope I wasn't too hard on you, man. I have a feeling that you're a serious filmmaker, so I wanted to give it to you seriously, bro.
Don't take it to heart, bro.
And don't take it to
Adam's just a super film guy. He's giving you the best advice he can.
No, I mean
that anybody can, honestly, because he really loves this shit and he does know what he's talking about. So don't take this at all in the wrong way, because I know everything he's saying is to help you more than anything else out of this.
And why would I waste your time with couched language?
Yeah,
you want the answer. It's like it's like somebody. It's like you buy a pint of lean and somebody watered it down. Like, you don't want watered down lean. You want the lean. You want the actual.
Know right away that it's watered.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want. So I'm gonna give you the actual product. I'm not gonna just give you a bunch of watered down language to make it easy for you to digest. Just gonna give it to you, man.
Wow.
So here we are. Back to us. So yeah, there was another thing that I saw this weekend. I went back, actually. I want to keep talking about movies.
Let's get it.
I went back and I watched a couple of movies that I hadn't seen in a long time, and one of those was actually The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw The Dark Knight?
It's been some years for me, honestly. I know we had talked about it one time because we had a discussion over. This was kind of like our, not an introduction, but our introduction to each other on like our selection or our taste in movies. And I remember bringing up The Dark Knight before, because me being who I am, my only involvement with film is just being a consumer and a watcher of it, while you have actually been on movie sets. You've directed your own film, written for films, all these things. And I remember just thinking, amongst so many people that I've talked to about The Dark Knight, how good of a movie I always thought it was, just from what I could take from the movie while watching it myself. But now that you went back and watched it, I'm very curious to know how this rewatch went for you and what it brought upon.
It made me think of two things at the same time. It made me think, one, every action movie director right now should be kidnapped and forced to watch that movie 100 times over.
I agree.
Over and over and over, like, until you get it. I want to be able to go to Guy Ritchie and be like, okay, what happened at 20 seconds into the movie? Yeah. If he can't tell me, you got to watch it again for another 10 days. You got to watch it again, because you're not getting what I'm saying. Like, that movie from the jump.
Right away.
From the jump, we're not even playing anymore. Like, it jumps in immediately, and you get some of the best imagery out of like a bank robber heist type of movie, and it's not even a bank robber heist movie.
No,
it's not about that.
Which is what works so well, is that there were so many different dynamics throughout the whole film. Even after you realize this is a Batman film, right? This is a movie about Batman and Joker. There were so many things within that movie that were done so well that it could have taken you and made you think, oh, what is this going to be? What is it going to be? Until you actually find it out, right? And I just feel like, for one, I do heavily agree with you on the action side of that, of every other action movie director needs to take notes from this movie too. This goes without saying. That is, to me, and I think will probably for the rest of my life, that is the greatest superhero movie that has ever been made.
100%.
I think
100%.
In every single aspect of what a superhero movie should match, they do that with a 10 out of 10. Or no, I'm sorry, Christopher Nolan.
Yes, Christopher
Nolan does that.
Christopher Nolan
at a 10 out of 10.
So then I thought about this, right? Because I thought about how great that opening scene was, and I was like, I don't really remember the opening scene to the third Batman. Let me watch that. Dom, it was even better. Dom, do you remember what happened? Dom,
yes,
I'm not talking because The Dark Knight's a better movie. The Dark Knight as a full,
around, but
the opening scene
they're on the airplane,
bro. They cut the airplane up in midair, bro. They take the nigga out the airplane, bro. They take what other movie? I'll wait. What other movie does that? What other movie has ever done anything like that? There's maybe one other movie where they do a set piece that's similarly dope, but not even close to that either. But I don't even think you'll say that movie.
I don't know.
They take the nigga out the plane, mid-air. They kidnap a dude who's in mid-flight.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things too leading up to that moment that's such a great example of showing and not telling, right? A dumber filmmaker would have started the scene with them walking up to the plane,
of course,
with the guy being like, hey, I'm a CIA agent.
Yeah.
Here's my team. This is the city this is the area we were operating in. Here's the mission we were doing. Giving you all this bullshit exposition that's not real. No, you see the guy, he's a CIA agent.
Right away.
You know that guy, he does black ops.
Yeah.
They're doing the illegal shit.
Of course.
The illegal shit you're not supposed to be doing. That's the team that captures Bane. Then you have them up in the air, and you have these little like references to the code of conduct that they're supposed to be following. Like, hey, we've got this many names on the flight plan, but we kept a couple names off of it. It just world builds purely out of showing you their actions, showing you that they're not doing it by the book.
No.
Which then means that whatever's about to happen to them is also going to be so fucking crazy that it's gonna make these guys look like they were doing it by the book.
This is the opening scene,
and this is how the movie starts. Bro.
So it could only get better from there.
That's how the movie starts, and it didn't get better, unfortunately. That if they would have just cut like that part, if I was, whenever that movie came out, 19, and they were like, hey, the new Batman is 9 minutes long, I'd be like, what the fuck? It's 9 minutes long. I don't want to see.
You would have loved it.
Bro, I would have walked up. This is the greatest movie of all time.
Ever seen.
And that you could stop it right there, right after they fucking kidnap the nigga. And
so many things were so good about this. It's crazy that you brought that up, because I literally, right before you came here, I was scrolling on Twitter, and that scene popped up on my Twitter.
Oh, for real?
I swear to God. And what I loved was, because like I said, I've only watched the movie once or twice, and I just love the reveal. I love the fact that you have Bane on his knees, bag over his head, hands tied behind his back, not saying a word. The dude asks him a question, and you hear that voice for the first time. Just this sort of like distorted, like a voice you've never heard, and then pulls the mask off him. You got this fucking big, jacked, bald-headed guy with this crazy mask on his face, and he just drops one of the greatest lines in the movie of what he says to the man, and the dude just, like, again, it comes off as a regular man, and then dude is just shook by him talking.
Yeah, by him talking.
To proceed and watch and follow along with the rest of the film, it literally, although it doesn't get better, it builds up perfectly to what you see Bane become and actually is as the antagonist that he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just so good,
and it's believable, which I think is Christopher Nolan's true talent as a filmmaker, is that he can make movies the unbelievable seem believable.
Because there was no outlandish like superpowers, you know, because a lot of Batman villains, they are
they have superpowers. Yeah,
movie, and that's why I have respect for Christopher Nolan, because he made sure within all 3 of his films, he did not pick any of those people to do that. I mean, the first one you had
the
Sandman,
Scarecrow.
Why did I say Sandman?
Which, by the way,
Spider-Man.
Underrated performance. Cillian Murphy, the Scarecrow. He is the Scarecrow. I wouldn't trust Cillian Murphy. I wouldn't be near him after seeing him in that movie. He was so scary in that movie. When they're, it's still one of the most fucked up scenes in any movie.
Yeah.
When he's in the fucking interrogation room and he switches and he turns into the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't
see that coming.
That's not in the playbook for how an actor should be portraying a superhero or a supervillain from a comic book. Because that wasn't a comic book.
No.
That was real.
Yeah.
That happened.
He did that.
Yeah.
That was him. He brought that shit out. That was not no read the script, do this.
No, that was when you see him turn into Scarecrow, man, that was one of the scariest shits when I was a kid. But fucking everybody talks about Heath Ledger, and obviously you should, because he's the Joker. But there's a couple of things that I feel like, because his performance was so massive, that people kind of skip about Dark Knight. And one of them is the set pieces. Remember towards the end when they're doing the shootout and like the police vans,
in the building, the like abandoned like.
No. So like, remember, there's the truck that he shoots with the RPG.
Yes.
Bro, somebody watch that again and show me where the CGI is in that. There's no CGI in that. That nigga shot a motherfucking.
Really blew that bitch up.
Yo.
That's nuts.
Like, there should have been a 50-year ban on action movies after that movie.
Unless they produce that level of quality within
there should have been a review board that said if you make an action movie and it's not good as Dark Knight, you get executed.
Here's my checklist. You don't have an RPG blowing up a truck for real? Scrap it.
Yeah, you're done.
Toss it out.
I don't want to see it no more, bro. And then I'll watch some of these like fucking action movies. There was that Guy Ritchie movie that came out. It took place in L.A. Let me see. Hold on, guys.
Oh, who's in it?
Hold on. What's his name? Jason Statham's in it. Hold on. This shit is fucking terrible. It was
Sorry, Guy Ritchie. Not sorry though.
No, Guy Ritchie used to be one of my favorite directors.
Notice the key words here. Used to.
He used to be one of my Wrath of Man. Wrath of Man is one of the stupidest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life, bro. Have you ever heard of that? Wrath of Man?
I told you, bro. It's been a minute since I've been in the movies, because it's just, bro. I mean, there's been like good movies I've seen, but not a lot of movies as of late within the last 5 to 6 years they don't do it for me anymore, bro. And I don't know what it is. Like, and I've heard you say the same thing, and you are a huge film guy, right? So for me, like I said, just being a viewer, for me to hear that from you, it lets me know not only am I right, that there's a major key or major element missing, and I personally don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it.
It's balls.
It is balls.
It's having the balls to do something that somebody didn't tell you that you could do.
Yeah, or that you had to do.
Yeah, and I saw that new Ari Aster movie, Beau is Afraid. Did you see that?
Nope. Last Ari Aster film I watched was
Hereditary. It made me rethink whether or not he was actually a good director or not. Like, it actually made me be like, you wouldn't be this bad, because Tarantino's an amazing director, but he's made bad movies.
Of course.
So, but there's a barrier to how bad it can get.
Yeah, there's like being a certain director, you can slide with a couple of bad movies. You know, it's okay.
But when there's a movie like Beau is Afraid that's just so disjointed, unnecessary, underdeveloped, it's like either you were too busy in Saint-Tropez getting blowjobs, or you were bad this whole time. Or you're just bad this whole time.
And see, what sucks is like when a lot of directors release these films so far into their career, it really plays against them, and that's what sucks, because you come off of, at least for me, like, you come off of Hereditary and Midsommar, which I think are good movies. I love
Hereditary was my favorite movie of like the decade, probably.
Great film. Like, not a lot of horror movies, not a lot of scary films really do it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of the exceptions of the 90s slashers, because that was my time as a kid, right? So all the tropes that these films really capture, I loved it. You know, you expect it out of those movies. You know what I mean? Like certain scenes, the people running, the nudity in these films. These are all things that are a part of that horror genre, right? And at least from that time in the 90s, these slashers.
Yeah.
Hereditary completely changed my view on horror films, because for one, I watched the movie Home Alone at nighttime.
Hell yeah.
Lights off.
The best way.
I want to get the best feeling from this. You know what I'm saying? I really want to feel everything this movie has to give. And it checked out every box on the list. Like I was scared after watching the film. I felt that fear within my body build up, you know, throughout the film playing through.
I heard something that Allie, my girlfriend, said after we watched it.
She watched it with you?
She saw it for the first time with me. She saw it for the first time with me, right? It was like my 8th time seeing it. But she said something at the end of it that I was like, this, by you saying this tells me you've never seen a horror movie the way you should have. Because she said at the end of Hereditary, she was like, that left a really bad feeling in my gut.
Oh,
like,
that's how I felt.
I was like, that's how you should feel.
That is if there's any answer you get from a viewer of your film, specifically within the horror genre, that's what you want.
If I see people walking out of a horror movie and they're like, hey, that was crazy, man.
Didn't do it.
That's not a horror movie.
No.
If I see people walking out of a horror movie and they're like not making eye contact with each other and they're like trying to get home as quickly as possible so they can go to bed
keep the lights on
and just fucking end the day because they're done.
Yeah, get this out of my head.
Yeah, that's how you know.
It's supremely uncomfortable. Outside of that, like, bro, just even the way like some of the scenes were shot just absolutely blew my mind. Now let's
no, he does
talk about the obvious scene in the movie that fucked everybody up. The car ride home from the park.
Oh yeah, that was That, I mean, that's just like, that's master level.
It is master level. And let me tell you why. Me being so conditioned to so many horror films that I've watched and so many scenes alike, of which this that I thought was gonna capture, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you know, they're going to show the obvious showing of, okay, here's the light pole. Here's the sister with her head outside the window. You know, she's going to miss it. The whole time I'm watching it, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, yeah you know, she's all right. She's going to choke a little bit. He's going to make it to the hospital. She's good.
Yeah.
She's good. And then I see what Ari Aster had in mind for this scene.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I want to point out. There's almost been no movies that I've had to, while watching, outside of obviously movies I've seen in the theater, pause and sit there and regather my thoughts. This easily holds the #1 spot.
Well, because the way that he does that whole sequence is it stops being from the third person unlimited perspective.
Now I'm in the car.
Now you're in the car, and not only are you in the car, but
my sister.
But guess what? You're also in denial, like he is. Remember, he was in denial. He's like,
my man's pulled up at home, parked the car, got out, went home, went to sleep.
And you, as the viewer, are like, that was a dream. He's gonna wake up.
Yeah, he's gonna wake up. Oh my God, this didn't happen.
And then you hear the mom scream, and then it shows you what happened. It shows you the fucking
see the blood in the backseat, the lifeless body. And another thing that he did, and this also goes back to you saying you have to have balls to shoot some of these scenes in these movies. Kids are usually safe.
Right.
For the most part, kids are safe. The most you're going to get out of a kid is a possession.
Right.
Not too much past that. You know, actually seeing the play out of it happening. Now, there's movies where kids aren't safe, but it's like here's the kid good. We pan out to a black screen. Next day, the kid's dead, right?
Right.
This is an in-time real happening. And I just, again, bro, I was literally, like I told you, I paused the movie. And I literally sat there for a good 10 minutes. My jaw was dropped the entire. I could not believe that happened.
Yeah, no, it to me, that's when you earn my respect, and also not just my respect, but that's when I'm gonna watch every movie you make.
Yeah, anything with your name on it, I'm coming to view.
Yeah, I'm watching it just because you showed me that you're willing to do something that other people aren't gonna do. That means there's going to be novel things in your films, things that I can't get anywhere else. So I'm going to go see them.
And you're raising the bar, like even outside of that, like, right? Like I thought that was going to be the last scene of the movie that had me feeling like this, but there was
like three other, like
there was literally 2 to 3 more. The second would have been the dad and the mom by the fire pit.
Yeah.
And she tosses the book in there, and I'm like, they're doing what they need to do. No, my man's goes up in flames.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
didn't expect that. And the other was everybody's dead, but the son and the mom. Son gets up late at night. He's walking through the house. He's confused as ever. He's still dealing with what he just seen his sister, what happened to his sister. He's walking through the house. And I love this so much because it's not the normal. It's not the obvious of what you're expecting to come, right?
Yeah.
So periodically through him walking through the house, you see the mom already possessed, crawling
scurrying
through the house, right, just everywhere,
like a bug,
literally like a fucking bug, because you're not really hearing it through the audio. You're seeing it. You can see it very subtly though, and I'm just like, oh fuck. In my head, I'm like, she's about to kill him, right?
Yeah.
After that, it pans out. You're not really seeing the mom anymore. You're just seeing the son walk through, but then you're hearing this disgusting, this otherworldly sound, right? And you have nobody in the world could have guessed what that sound was going to be, right? Until you get the reveal.
Yeah.
You're just hearing this crazy, something nobody in life would want to hear at night in their own house, right? And then you come upon the reveal, and you fucking see the son have to watch his mom turn around, and she's literally sawing her head off with a piano cord.
Yo.
Again, I had to pause the film and just...
Nuts.
And the only thought I had in my head is, Ari Aster, you are a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, no.
You are like, nobody that can make a film like this is a sane person in the head.
No, have you ever heard of his thesis film? What his original film was that like got him into making movies? It's called There's Something About the Johnsons. No. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
This is, to me, it's like, and I'm not going to say that I like this movie. It's fucked up. But to make this your thesis film out of film school,
gotta have balls.
Not only is it I have balls, but it's also this. It's also like, I don't like filmmakers. Yeah. I don't like this. That's the vision that I got from it, or the feeling I got from it, and I fuck with that.
That's respect.
I fuck with rebellious type of dudes. So Something About the Johnsons is about this like very religious, conservative black family where the son starts raping the father. Yo.
Yikes.
It's
crazy.
He's like,
that's a big yikes.
There's like, he's like,
yikes.
He's like because the dad's like scared of the son. So the son's like, the dad's like locking doors. And the son's like, I don't like locked doors, Dad. Like shit, like crazy. Like crazy ass.
It's kind of surprising he even has a career in film.
Yo, but
this is opening.
But you either do one of two things. You're a tenured board of professors that have to say, okay, does this thesis film get an A, or do we kick this guy out of filmmaking forever?
Those are
There's no, you can't say, and that's what every filmmaker should be doing. Yeah. Either I keep making movies for the rest of my life, or this is the last thing I'm ever doing.
And I have respect for that, bro, because realistically, like, imagine having the very actual thought in your head that this is my opening movie to one of two things: I'm about to make it, or I'm never doing anything regarding film again.
Yeah.
That's so much courage that you have to put into that, and just have so much belief within yourself that you can make it work. And that's not easy to come by in life at all.
At all.
So I have respect for that, bro. I mean, that's not easy to accomplish. It's not easy to do. It's definitely not easy to accomplish. So,
but even though I just said all those good things about Ari Aster,
bring it back.
Beau is Afraid is not a good movie, and it showed me it wasn't just not a good movie. It was poorly thought out. It was poorly executed, and it was a waste of a lot of good talent. Which to me is like, that goes beyond you were experimenting and you failed.
Yeah.
That goes to, I'm gonna throw something up against the wall and you're just gonna like it because my name's Ari Aster.
So that kind of answered my question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Now, do you think that is a result of success coming too early? Because I know for a fact, like, first and foremost, before Hereditary and Midsommar, I couldn't even have told you without really paying attention what an A24 film was. Right?
Yeah.
So knowing the success that came from those two films and how big they were and how talked about they were, do you think that's a result of your head becoming too big, or is that a result of kind of like you kind of pumped out too much too early in your career and now you don't have too many choices or ideas of what to make.
It was definitely a signification that he had no good ideas left.
Yeah.
For sure. You don't make a movie like that if you even have one idea that's a little bit better. So that's for sure. But it's also people like me who saw Hereditary and was like, yo, this is the greatest movie.
Such a high standard.
Yeah.
You know?
And that probably freaked him out.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, well, I got to just throw something up against the wall. And let me get who's the biggest actor right now? Who's the highest paid actor? Let me get Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, you're on our movie.
Yeah.
That's what happened. It felt frantic. It felt for the first time I saw a film from him that made me question if he ever even had confidence.
Right.
Like I was like, was this all fake?
Maybe he got lucky.
Yeah, maybe he got lucky. Like that's how bad it was.
Damn, bro. That sucks.
Yeah, don't go see Beau is Afraid. If you like these kinds of films, it will really, really upset you how bad it is.
Or you just gotta have a super open mind and just accept a lot of things, because that sucks, because it's like, you know, we kind of ourselves, you know, build up this image or build up this character of what a lot of these directors are, right? Within a short span of time. Let's be real here. You come out with 2 movies like the 2 I just named of his, you almost feel like in your head, you know, because those were so early into his career that there's no wrong he can do now.
Right.
And I kind of feel like we kind of create these stipulations for ourselves because we should really stay in the mind of us never seeing a film of his after we've already seen what we don't know at the time but know now are his best.
Yeah.
Because realistically, those are probably going to go down as his best
Those
movies.
will be his best movies. Hereditary, like there's certain movies that are bigger than the people and the director that made it. Hereditary is one of those movies. So I don't even look for that. Like if he's making another movie, I'm not going to look for another Hereditary. I'm just going to hope that he makes something better than.
Because you might ruin something for yourself that.
Yeah.
If you didn't go into the watching of that movie thinking that way, you might like more than you. I'm not saying you're going to have it as one of your favorite films or like a standout breakout film, but you might like a little more than you know of.
Let me do a quick shout out. I got to take a piss, but then I'm going to tell you the number 1 A24 movie. I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, because I want to know, and you know I'm always excited to hear your fucking opinions on these. To everybody, you can find us on multiple social medias. We are on Instagram. Our ads on Instagram are 2 Detroit Nerds, the number 2 Detroit Nerds. Come engage with us. Come talk to us. We are accepting to all. We want more engagement. We're getting a good amount as it is right now, but you guys are only going to see more and more from us. So we want to hear feedback. We want suggestions. We want collabs, whatever you guys can come with. We also have ourselves on TikTok. TikTok, it is the word 2 Detroit Nerds. Come follow our TikTok. We're going to be heavily involved with that more moving forward. And aside from that, look out for our Facebook and our Twitter pages to come out under more than likely the same handle, the number 2 Detroit Nerds. That seems to work better with a lot of our followers, a lot of people, viewers, fans, whatever it may be. Come check us out. Like I said, we're always open to have discussions, take new ideas from some of you guys. Maybe you guys come and tell us what you want to see, whatever it is. You're going to get a lot of us, but we want some more of you guys to be involved with this too. So come check us out on all those, honestly. We really welcome it and appreciate it. Don't trip. But yeah. All
right, number 1 A24 movie of all time is a film called Under the Silver Lake. Have you ever seen that movie?
Nope.
It's been lost. It's hard to find, and I think it's because a lot of what was in that movie was very no, it was true. It would it was trying to tell you.
Yeah, so true is frowned upon.
So Under the Silver.
It's sad to say that.
Yeah, so Under the Silver Lake. I'm trying to find who the director was. Let's see. I am David Robert Mitchell. It's got a
lot of these filmmakers have 3 first names as their whole name.
It's a pretentious
it's very weird to me.
Yeah, but it's got Andrew Garfield and Riley Coe in it. So that it's about this like deadbeat in Los Angeles who starts to uncover this like secret like code that's being spoken to like through music and through billboards and through like certain media. Whoa. So he starts to piece it together and starts to realize that there's this whole underground like basically like prostitution ring of actresses in Hollywood that are pretending to be like, you know, actresses but are really just prostitutes.
This is a movie and not real life.
Exactly. And you wonder why nobody's heard of it and why it's gone.
Yikes.
Under the Silver Lake.
Yikes.
It's not a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie.
But it does what it needs to do.
It not only does it do what it needs to do, it does the most important thing that a film like that and all the A24 movies are trying to do, which is the mystery. the feeling of not really knowing what you're seeing, but liking it anyways. That feeling of, wow, I'm entering into this world that's speaking this other language that I have to figure out through the course of the movie.
Okay.
That's how Under the Silver Lake is told, and it's not doing you any favors. It's not going to spell it out for you. There's no scene for people that need to watch movies where there's a scene in the movie where they're like, okay, so we figured it out.
Here's the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, don't watch that. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch any movies I ever tell you to watch because I don't like movies like that. Anytime, another type of movie I fucking hate is if I start a movie and they start with a voiceover about what the movie's going to be about, like this. I was 21 years old when this, and then my girlfriend at the time is
Here's the playback of that.
If I get an exposition through a voiceover in a movie, I turn it the fuck off.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the cheapest bullshit.
It's like your hand's being held through it. And let's be real, we're fucking adults here. I don't need my hand to be held.
Yeah, it's insulting. But
it's like you're stupid. It's like the director saying, hey, majority of y'all that are gonna watch this
are stupid.
You're stupid. Here's what the movie's about. And it's like, you know what? Here's a big fuck you. I just paid $15 for your movie, and this is what I get. This is insulting. I'm gonna spit on the floor before I leave, and I'm gonna walk out.
It's like, so I guess I don't need eyes to watch this movie. I guess I can just listen. I guess this is a radio play. Yeah, I guess this is a radio play, but no, Under the Silver Lake is and I hate using this fucking word.
Just use it.
It's esoteric. It really is. It's really telling you a story through symbols, through inferences.
Why do you hate using that word?
Because
is it cliche?
Yeah, and every 19-year-old girl on Tumblr has a tattoo of it.
Yeah, but don't let you hate it from these 19-year-olds, bro.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Be Adam and take that shit.
You're right. But yeah, Under the Silver Lake, number one, I think it's Andrew Garfield's best performance too.
Really?
He's so funny in that movie.
Good.
It's crazy how funny he is. I would say if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching it, stop it right now and then watch Under the Silver Lake and then come back to us, because you'll really appreciate me. You'll feel like I'm your friend. You'll feel like you really know me. And, you'll enjoy this podcast more. But
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair, bro.
Yeah, man. You'd really love that movie if you saw it. It's on Amazon.
So there is something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, what's up?
That is going to detest and go against all these things you've said regarding this subject.
Okay.
We're going to shift into the anime corner for a second, guys.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So me being who I am, watching what I've watched, and being the fan of what I have been, I have the number one pick to go against your anime of the new age isn't as good as the 90s anymore.
Well,
you ready for this?
Whatever you're going to say is going to be wrong.
No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Whatever you're going to say.
Because I agreed with you.
Yeah, okay.
When we talked about it, I heavily agreed with you because no matter what I've liked so much, it has not done what these older titles have done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been stressing this on you, but you have not listened to me, and I cannot pick a better time to talk about this than on the fucking show, because now not only am I going to be telling you, our fans and viewers are going to be telling you this as well.
Okay.
Check out the comment section after this. Watch the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. I promise you, if I'm wrong, bro, I would never ask you to watch or engage in anything again if I'm wrong.
Okay.
No music, no movies, no video games.
Without giving it away, because you said this before.
Yeah. Without giving it away, why? Right?
Yeah. Why?
So it didn't take this long into the season for me to feel this way, but I'd like to always make sure of myself when I give out suggestions and reasons as to why people should take part in something that I've already been part of, that they may not like as much as me. These last, I want to say 3 to 4 episodes of almost any anime, not every, but almost any anime I've watched, have not filled out every aspect or every part of the format that anime episodes need to fill out better than these last 3 to 4 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm talking about every little thing you could ask for or want out of an anime episode. This does. The right amount of the comedic value in these episodes, spot on. The amount of seriousness, spot on. The fight scenes, top of the notch in terms of quality, what you're seeing, who you're seeing do it, all these things, perfect. Literally perfect. The plot and the pacing of the story, perfect. And this is coming from somebody who has read all this, known what's coming. This is really my answer to give to people for them to understand how good anime has to do it and what they can do to make it that well. If I read something, know what's going to happen, I'm aware of all these things, but I can go and watch it and still have the same reaction as if I was an anime-only watcher to these. Keep in mind, it's like you go read a book,
right,
and then you go see a movie, and you're like, wow, this movie's better than the book. That usually doesn't happen.
That almost never happens. Yeah.
This is an example of that.
Damn.
This does it better than the manga, obviously because it's animated. You know, there's color added, there's voices. You can match everything to the character of what was already inside of your head that you would have wanted them to sound like, act like, be like, whatever it is. Throw all that shit aside for a second. This last episode that came out and the one before, this is gonna make its way heavily up your ranks.
Okay.
On some of these shows. I truly believe.
I'm gonna take you up on that. I'm done playing around. I'm gonna watch all of Jujutsu Kaisen first and second season, and we're gonna have a long talk about it next episode.
Here's another thing I want to say. Animation wise, what's your top hitters?
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Hitters.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Plural. More than one.
The rebuild of Neon Genesis.
No. Whatever those are,
the rebuild.
This is competing.
Okay.
This is very competing.
No, I have seen stills. I've seen like.
No. This is one of the best fight scenes I've seen in an episode of anime.
Okay.
And you know how much I've watched. You know what I've talked to you about.
Oh, so it's better than like the best like high budget parts of Attack on Titan. Fight wise. Yeah, fight wise.
Yeah, I mean we're here's the difference. So here's why that's a bad comparison.
Okay.
We're talking about throwing hands. Attack on Titan is swords, guns,
and it's
big ass, burly, monstrous looking, big ass humans just throwing rocks or kicking somebody's body halfway across the continent. You know, so it is a little bit different, but I would still give it that comparison. Here's the best thing, and this is the last thing I'll say about it. This is coming to be, and this has been a long time since this has happened. This is a new gen title.
Yeah.
This is heavily making its way up my ranks in what my favorites are. We're just getting into the second season. This is like midway, maybe a little over halfway into the second season. And I can confidently say that right now with everything that's going on.
That's a tall order. We're gonna put it to the test next. We're gonna put it to the test next episode.
And I'm glad that I waited till this episode to bring it up, because had we brought it up off the air, it may have been translated a little differently. And I think this is perfect.
Okay.
For me to let this out.
I'm taking your word for it.
Honestly, bro, check it out.
All right, man.
You'll see, bro.
I think we're at our hour. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Okay. Well, let me see that.
That thingamajig. That thingamajig. No, I mean outside of that, Another here's a recommendation, and we're gonna travel back a little bit, not too far, but back a little bit. You ever heard of or come across a show called Magi?
Yeah, you told me about Magi.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I tried watching it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I tried watching it.
That's already an insult off the bat. Tried watching.
Have you watched? Did you watch Gintama? Like I told you to watch Gintama.
Dude,
you haven't watched Gintama.
Let you know right now, spoof animes are at the bottom of my list. That is a spoof. If you tell me it's not, you're wrong. Or
no,
you
it's
weren't
a comedy. It's a comedy anime.
It is very well a spoof anime.
It has its own.
It has a serious
unique.
moments.
It has its own unique story.
It's the same thing of what One Punch Man is. Same thing.
One Punch Man's a great show.
I agree.
And what
it also resides within its own realm.
Bro, there's nothing funnier I've seen in anime than the start of the third season of Gintama, where it's a fucking press conference about how Gintama's gotten bad. And it's the people who are the people in Gintama being like actors. Like that's funny. That's so funny.
Hilarious. Okay, so here's my question to you, not to get off topic, but it's regarding the same things. Are any of the scary movies good movies?
Yes.
Which ones?
Number 1, Scary Movie 1.
Strictly.
Yes, Scary Movie 1 was hilarious.
Great movie.
Oh my god! No, there's also this thing that's Scary Movie.
Kind of funny.
But there's this one particular like aspect of Scary Movie that I feel like a lot of people miss, and it's that it's probably the last movie that has like that old 20th century style of like slapstick humor.
Absolutely.
Where it's like there's the scene where there's the lady the lady cop talking to Charlie Sheen, and her hat starts getting bigger.
That's in the third one.
That's in the third one?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Okay, all of them.
Yeah, but that is
that
hilarious.
Shit is
that is
so
my kind of comedy.
funny.
I love that. Because that's such a like subtle addition to where it's like if you're not paying attention to the movie, you won't see that because you're more focused on the dialogue. But if you are paying attention to the movie, like each cutback is like boom, boom, Boom.
But it's also
hilarious.
but it's also, again, getting back to my biggest point, it's ballsy.
It is ballsy
It's
because
ballsy.
you would think in your head before seeing that on film, you would question why even put that in the movie, right? What the fuck is the need of that?
They had to spend a lot of money. They had to get a fucking
for that scene?
Just to get they had to
way.
they had to get probably 20 of those hats. They had to get a stylist and a production designer to sit there for hours and be like, okay, this size is probably funny. This size is funnier. That's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time
for just that one scene.
Yeah.
There's even the scene with the in the first one with the big tub of ice cream. Like that, those types of things, like they could have easily have.
Big tub of ice cream.
Yeah, where what's her face is eating like she's got like a big tub of ice cream on the counter and it's just ridiculously big.
Yeah.
Like little things like that to me, and maybe that's just because I'm a film nerd. Is like, man, they put in an extra day's worth of planning just for that one little moment,
that, like 30 seconds. Of
30 seconds, and I think like that type of shit to me shows you like making movies.
Yeah,
you like,
because you're not only making it to like making it like good, you're having fun with it.
You're having fun.
Like you have just these like wild ass ideas in your head that you're like, you know what? Let's try this, and it works.
And it works, man. It's experimentation in real time.
That's fair.
That's film. Yeah, but, man.
Yeah, bro, check that shit out. But I brought it back to Magi because I started rewatching it, and I really think you need to give it an actual chance. First and foremost, let me say this, get it out the way, because I know how you are. Don't watch it when Allie's around.
Oh, it's got some fan service.
It's not like super fan service, but there is some fan service, bro. I mean, like,
it's anime.
It's anime, so it should be expected, first and foremost. And secondly, outside of the fan service, almost perfect plot. I will say that right now. And then this is not a super fan of me saying this. This is me critically thinking about it. Power system, amazing. Character development is great. And just like character designs, how a lot of these characters are like a lot of it, although it fits common tropes within anime, it still works so well for this story. And on top of all that, it is a reiteration of the story of Aladdin.
Okay.
In no way related to the Disney version of Aladdin or whatever else you know.
I think that's why I stopped watching it, because they had like Arab names, and I was like, okay,
no,
enough of that.
Do away with that and just watch it for what it is. Trust me, bro. It is such a good.
Yeah.
It is such a good take on that story, but I mean, I hope this doesn't sound bad, but through a Japanese man's eyes.
So I will definitely give it another shot. I just walked in with a big bias towards it because it was using source material that I felt like that Japanese dude who made this doesn't know.
No, the only source material I'll give you that they use from the original story of Aladdin is the names, strictly the names. Outside, and I guess the one of the power systems in the show is a jinn, Djinn, jinn. It is a genie.
Yeah.
Outside of these similarities within the colors and the sizing of them and what they are, what they can do, that's where it stops. Outside of that is completely different from the genie from Aladdin, what he does, all that. There's no like wish granting like there was in Aladdin. There wasn't shit like that. It is used for a completely solely different reason that worked very well for this. Very well.
I'll give it another shot, man. Did you ever watch the show that I told you to watch, New Game?
Just called New Game?
It's called New Game.
I don't remember you telling me to watch that. I remember you telling me to watch Evangelion. I remember you telling me to watch Gintama. And
New Game was like when you asked me like, oh, what's the slice of life? Because remember when we first started talking.
Let me stop you there. I know for a fact you didn't tell me to watch it, because never in my life would I ask you to recommend a slice of life.
No, because I told you my favorite type of anime right now, like of current gen anime, are slice of life animes.
Come for this man, please.
Please come for this man. Because they're actually interesting sometimes to watch. And they're just, for me, in anime, it's never going to be as good as Evangelion. So I just have to watch them for being, interesting stories about people, which a lot of slice of life animes do very good at. I like New Game not because it's like some amazing story.
Yeah, fair.
It's not. It's a very like dry, like
it's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, very well animated, and you can actually like watch it with other people without being.
Oh,
like,
I don't care about that. Sorry to tell you, I don't give a fuck. I mean, unless outside of my boys who I already know have a common interest in anime with me, I don't give a fuck who else is around to watch. I'm sorry to say that, but so here's what I want to know: how close does Attack on Titan come to Evangelion for you?
Attack on Titan's the only
very close to.
No, Attack on Titan's better.
Oh,
Attack on Titan's
fair,
better.
fair.
Yeah. Attack on Titan's better because it's a better story. But like
no anime is gonna top that story.
Like stand up fight between Evangelion and Attack on Titan, just story wise.
Yeah,
Attack on Titan wins. Because Attack on Titan also too is a complete story. Evangelion was incomplete when it was first written, so you can't you just got to give it to Attack on Titan for being as complete as it was when they started production on it.
Yeah,
like, it was a fully fleshed out idea.
We also have the new episode coming out in 3 days.
3 days. So next episode of this show, we're definitely going to talk about that as well as we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to do an anime episode next episode, guys, because I think I got to tell them how bad Magi is. So we'll get to that. I got to
tell them how bad Evangelion and Gintama are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm coming for this. Oh man. He's going to get super offended by this, but this is what we need. God. So bad.
Whoa. Saying Evangelion's bad is like saying cheeseburgers aren't good. It's just horrible. It's one.
I would never say cheeseburgers aren't good.
Well, you just said Evangelion is bad.
It's not the same. I can't consume that the same way I can consume a cheeseburger.
I could
go the rest of my life without ever consuming media, but still get my fill off of food. I can't say the same.
Here's how good Evangelion is. You can be stranded on a desert island and watch Evangelion, and you'll feel full. Yeah. Every day it will actually
full.
No, it will give you sustenance. Yeah, you'll start working out, you'll get jacked. Yeah, it's all protein, bro.
I'll watch it with no preconceived thoughts in mind. I don't watch anything that way anyway, so I feel like
wait. Let me for the record. Have you not watched Evangelion all the way through?
No.
All right, guys, it's been a great episode of Two Detroit Nerds.
It has been a great
Y'all
episode.
Enjoy this one. It's been a good one.
We love you guys.